Hey, all my Taurus friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I'm here today with your March 2024 monthly horoscope. These horoscopes are based on whole sign Western astrology. So when I talk about Taurus, I'm talking about Taurus rising. This is also applicable to Taurus moon, Taurus sun. And if you have a stellium, which is 3 or more personal planets in the sign of Taurus, this is important for you as well. A stellium indicates a soul's focus in this lifetime. So I also want to mention this is in the Pacific time zone. So if you're not in the Pacific, please adjust for your location. Now, the wheel's going to change as we go through the month. It happens to start off as a Taurus rising. But I'm going to be telling you the house that the transits are happening in, because this is going to indicate the environment. We have this growing conjunction between Jupiter, the planet of expansion, and Uranus, the planet of innovation and unexpected things, revolution, science, technology. Here, they're coming together in April, but we're going to feel this conjunction growing very powerfully throughout March, and it's going to be in the first house of self for you. So this is very powerful. But let's start here in the energy of Pisces. That's where I want to start, with Saturn and the Sun making a conjunction, and Mercury's there as well. This is very important because, to me, as I look at this, Pisces is your 11th house. The 11th house is what they call an upachaya house. It's what they call a house of hopes and dreams. It's also the natural house of Aquarius. So there's that whole layer of innovation, futuristic things, thinking, the World Wide Web, thinking about the cosmic consciousness. It's such a broad, expansive house. And here, it being the house of spirituality, the house of creativity, the house of spending time alone, where we dream, where we literally sleep dream. It's also a house where we feel put away from others. It represents, mental institutions, prisons, laboratories, places where people spend time tooling and crafting by themselves. So as we see that Taurus, the Saturn is here at the Capricorn degree, we have the Sun at the Aquarian degree, and we have Mercury at the brave Arian degree. This is really thinking about my ego expression, my history, where I've been, where I come from. This is my thoughts, my things, my siblings, my everyday activities. And you could very well be thinking about how you want to reinvent yourself, use your creativity. And I also feel like in this particular house right now, it's a very powerful time to connect with spirit. We see Neptune, the ruler of the house here. It's still going to be there for a few years. It's a slow moving planet. And all these planets will eventually conjunct Neptune. So there's an opportunity for spiritual revelations, spiritual connections, making sense of my history, where I've been historically. And also, Saturn rules agriculture. It rules growth. It rules the golden age. Here in your 11th house of hopes and dreams, and, seeing the sextile to Uranus, which naturally rules this house, Jupiter, the co-ruler of Pisces, so much opportunity for expansion. And yet, this is really a little bit about getting out of your comfort zone. Uranus is going to push you out of your comfort zone, Taurus, because you like to do things slowly, steadily. You like to build trust. You like to have history with people. And what I believe may potentially happen as we move through this month is this is going to ask you to be braver, be expansive, be a little bit shocking to yourself, and even to expand your belief system. Jupiter rules so many things. It naturally rules the ninth house of philosophy, of higher education, masters, PhDs, very complementary to the type of work that could potentially be done in laboratories or, scientific breakthroughs here. And it doesn't have to be science. It can be, literally science. It can be the science of who you are as an individual and how you feel about yourself and how you express your desires, your creativity, your Venusian energies. In a no short time, Venus is going to move into her exaltation here in Pisces and really bring in a warm, loving energy and have a conversation with Saturn that's going to be about building wealth. I think that's very powerful. Let's move to the 9th. Now we see the wheel move here. Again, I'm going to be telling you the house structure because depending upon the time of day, the rising sign changes. But here we're starting to see Mercury is moving into, let me actually go to the 10th. Mercury has moved into Aries. Oh, good. This puts this back in with your first house here. Mercury has moved into Aries in your 12th house. And this is, again, another illumination of not only your thoughts, how you speak, how you absorb information, but how you're absorbing information from spirit, how you're connecting or potentially, escaping into old stories that don't serve your moving forward, but rather have supported your moving. How do I want to phrase this? I feel like there's a potential of identifying resentments or old thoughts where you may be right, but does it still serve Taurus to hang out with that energy, or can I transform that energy? And also being more dreamy about how I'm ruling my everyday activities. This Aries 12th house is sort of about being brave in your, do I see myself? Do I allow myself to express herself or himself? Aries is always going to be about, am I too much in my head? Here's this Mercury energy here. Now, let's go to the new moon on this day, but it's at 1 a.m. Change that because this is a series of new moons, Taurus, that have been at the 20th degree. And, again, we're still hanging out in your 11th house. The 20th degree is the scorpionic degree of the deepest psychology that allows us to either feel powerful and controlling over others, or others control us through their money, through sex, through, power we feel they have over us. And we've been going through a series of new moons, not only at the 20th degree, but the new moon has changed its cycle. Back in 2023, we start the month with a new moon and then we go to a full moon. Well, it's flipped, and now we've been going through a series of full moons and then new moons. So here we have an opportunity as a result of the full moon's energy last month to plant the seeds here for this new moon. And really, this is like, if we think about the idea that, Scorpio is a water sign, Pisces is a water sign, this is a connection to spirit to plant the seeds for the 2.0 version of you that allows you to go from feeling enslaved to an emotional dynamic to being the phoenix that rises above that emotional dynamic. The challenge about the fixed signs is it's so difficult to change how you feel. There's this theory, I think it's Molly McCord's, that, all the fixed signs are in the houses that are sandwiched within their quadrant. And so they don't feel a lot of wiggle room. And here, I think this is an opportunity to find your wiggle room in your connection to spirit that allows you to rewrite your history and have it serve you in a way that really, benefits your future and makes you feel more secure about your flow of resources. Now we see here, let me go back to 12 p.m. And then when we go to the 11th, we're going to see, I'm going to go to the 12th just to be sure. We see Venus has entered her exaltation in Pisces. Again, Venus is very creative and very she loves comfort and good food and good wine and comfy pillows and nice music. And here she's, in her best friend's house where they're going to chat about all the amazing things that they can create and the dreams they have. Now, we're going to see Venus moving into a very close conversation with Saturn over this time. And oftentimes astrologers will say, oh, Saturn will restrict Venus, make her feel kind of, drab or dry, or, pull her, not let her be kind of flamboyant and big. And here I sort of disagree now. Okay, so let's talk about that. Venus is your ruling planet, Taurus. In the sign Taurus rules my voice, my skills, my ability to create my own money. Saturn is going to help Venus have a conversation on how to do that and root it into the material world in a way that will build and be sustainable moving forward. I think this is really powerful again because this is your 11th house of hopes and dreams, things that are working over time. So as you're tenacious and you have that ability, you have the ability, you're the spiritual beast of burden of the Zodiac. So now I feel like this growing conjunction, and Venus will scoot on over past Saturn. So this will go on for a while, and it will be complementary to this here, this Uranus and Jupiter growing conjunction, as they call it, the great conjunction in your first house. And when it finally takes place, it will take place at the 22nd degree. That is a Capricorn degree. It is the last degree of Capricorn that is like this mastering energy of the awareness of the duality of the Capricorn Saturn energy, how fear is empowering. And when we have the tenacity and the endurance and the chutzpah to move through that fear, we are empowered, we achieve, we find our reward, and that sets us up for the next big win, is the way I want to put it. Okay, so let's now move to the mid-month around, I'm going to go to the 20th. And we will see that the sun has moved into its exaltation in Aries. It's funny. We often talk about how when a planet is close to the sun, it's combust. I think that with this, to me, the sun is evolving. The Leo energy that the sun represents is evolving into a benevolent, loving leader. And as we see, because Mars will move into its leadership here, I feel like this is an awareness of my ego assertion. Now, Aries is your 12th house. So again, there's always in the 12th house a feeling of not being seen. But here, Taurus, this is about you seeing you so that then others can see you. That's the way this feels to me. And as the sun moved through Pisces and had its conversation with Saturn and Mercury was over there, and here's Neptune, really identifying old patterns of thought that have pulled your focus in a direction that has anchored you into something that doesn't represent who you are anymore. And because that Taurus energy really, identifies itself with how it was raised, how it was nurtured, how the family embraced your talents, your skills, your thoughts. And here I feel like you're spiritually getting brave in this Aries energy to individualize and build upon that platform, meaning the platform of your childhood, your history. And this is going to bring, this conjunction in your first house is going to bring that awareness in like nobody's business. I don't even know how it will show up for each individual because it is very, it's going to be very specific to the path that you've been on and what you've been building as Jupiter has been in your first house. Okay. So I also want to say that we have a sextile here between Pluto and the sun. Now, the sun had just been in Aquarius about a month ago. And in doing so, there was already a conversation in late January about, power and control, about ego and drive. And now I believe that this Neptune energy, rather than being an erosive energy, is allowing me to spiritually harness. It's the peaceful warrior here. And even though there's this sort of half square to Jupiter in your first house, I'm more focused on the epiphanies that you have here, the opportunity that you have here to identify where Aquarius is your 10th house. So there is the potential that this is a revolution within your career, in your public life, how people see you. Again, the Aquarian energy is expansive by nature. And here is this all about you and you being brave to revolutionize yourself. That's the way I want to put it. Okay, let's go to the 22nd. Well, I'm going to go to the 23rd when Mars enters Pisces. Now, oftentimes we think that Mars's entry into Pisces is sort of like putting, fire in water. It just creates steam and extinguishes it. But I believe here, with Pisces again being your 11th house of hopes and dreams, this is the peaceful warrior, the transformation, the understanding that the warrior goes into the place of meditation to connect with God and the angels as he or she is embarking on a divine disruption, breaking down some sort of imbalance where we've escaped our greatness, escaped our creativity, escaped our own particular voice. And the conversation that Venus and Saturn have been having for you in your 11th house is offering you now an opportunity to go into this quiet place of, and I don't mean quiet like try to quiet your mind, I mean quiet environment, like a bedroom or a sanctuary, a retreat, a somewhere where you can get the noise of the everyday life of the things that you've been building and recalibrate your alignment, your vibrational alignment, your frequency alignment. I think that's really powerful because I think that will give you, Taurus, this feeling of stability within what could appear to be instability. Whenever there's a book called The Dream Giver, and it's about a character named Ordinary who lives in the land of familiar. And in order for Ordinary to realize his dreams, he has to go out into the desert of his dreams. And it's a very daunting task for him. And yet faith beckons him on and on. And once he finally gets to that big dream, he realizes it's just the beginning of another journey through another dream. So that's what I think is going on for my Tauruses. Let's go to the final day that I want to talk about, which is the lunar eclipse on the 25th. It's the first eclipse of the season, of the year. It is at 12 a.m. Pacific time, which is interesting because that's at the beginning of a new day. And we see this lunar eclipse is a full moon where the illumination comes on in the sign of partnership. It is also on the supergalactic center. The supergalactic center is at 2 degrees, 22 minutes of Libra, and it indicates a point within the Shapley cluster where we are offered an opportunity to really create relationship with ourselves that then benefits the relationships that we create with others, allows us a sense of peace and harmony and civility that we can only really foster in relationships when it's inherently within our emotional being and makeup. So this to me is very transformational. We just saw we had a new moon that was at that 20th degree, offering us this awareness of our psychological imprint, some sort of historic pattern that from lifetime after lifetime. And now this full moon lunar eclipse at the Leo degree of leadership and of my self-expression and courage of the heart will give Taurus an opportunity to really set up. I almost feel like it's setting a tone. We could talk about Pisces energy is lyrical, represent dance. There's music involved there. So we're setting a tone, a vibration out to the universe through this illumination of what we want to birth even more radically as we get further into the year. And we see that this conjunction here is going to affect you so powerfully. Anybody that has anything, anywhere in this house, this is the kind of energy with Jupiter's expansive energy and Uranus's sort of futuristic warp drive makes me feel like, the closer the orb to 22 degrees of Taurus, it's going to be, like ground zero, but everybody's going to feel it. And anything squaring, all the fixed signs are going to feel it, either in opposition or square. So as we have this awareness moving up into this dynamic, we can really harness the energy and use it at its highest vibration for our benefit, our expansion, our harmonious wealth with our money. It's very, very, very exciting. All right, my Taurus friends, that's it for March 2024. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I am available for readings. If you'd like to book something, I can either do an astrology reading or an angel reading. just send me an email and I will send you all the particulars and services I have. I'm working on with someone now, hopefully updating my website to reflect all that more efficiently moving forward. All right, everybody, have a lovely March. I will see you in April.